Hey guys, it's me, that YouTuber that guy that made one video. I'm not even a YouTuber yet. Hey, I'm back. I recently got a new headset, or no, this is an old one, but it's got a foam piece on it, so hopefully my audio will sound a bit better. I know you can always hear me breathing awkwardly between sentences though, so that sucks. But hopefully you guys don't care about that. What I wanted to talk about, just real quick, was some misconceptions I've heard about the new update. Particularly with the new family member, and some stuff about the map. I'm gonna get this out of the way. I'm super excited. I'm so happy. None of us saw this coming. I think it's hilarious how Gunn basically lowered our expectations so much and just got us so hopeless, and then out of nowhere pulled out something big. I guess that's their strategy, is that they get very quiet and make us think that they've given up, and then they're gonna pull out something big to hook us. It's cruel, but it works. Anyway, I'm gonna get to talking what I want to talk about. So, I've seen a lot of people comparing the new family member, Bones, and the cook. And I don't blame them, because visually they look very similar. Bones is his crop top, or not crop top, whoops, his tank top, the white tank top, and his pale skin kind of reminds me a little bit of Cook's default outfit. And they both wear their pants up really high around their abdomen, which was a common old-fashioned way to wear your pants back then. And their posture's very much the same. They both keep their arms at like an obtuse or like 90-degree angle with their body, which I think is kind of funny. That also could be just because they used a lot of Cook animations in this trailer, but we'll see when it comes out. Oh, only in about 5 days. God, I'm so excited. But at that point, that's about where all the similarities end. I'm gonna first talk about something that I didn't like. Well, I think Dingus Crusader said this. He said that he might have immediately taken it back afterwards. I don't know. He said that he thought that Bones looked older than Cook, and I think that's quite ridiculous. First off, let me pull up a side-by-side of their faces. I'm going to start with the neck up. The first easiest thing to notice is that Bones' neck is completely smooth, young-looking, whereas Drayton's is obviously very wrinkled and saggy. You can see, I guess those are his, like, I can't remember the name of the muscle that connects to the clavicle. Speaking of clavicle, anyone noticed the cool clavicle scar, the collarbone scar that Bones has? It's very neat. But, that's the easiest one to recognize. That's, like, the most drastic difference. Next is their faces. Cook's is way wrinklier, has way more wrinkles, if it wasn't obvious, and he's also got a much bigger bald spot. I will say, he does kind of have the same pattern. I guess it's genetic, huh? But, Bones' face is way less wrinkled. The only wrinkles you can really see on his face are on his forehead, and forehead wrinkles isn't really all that much tied to age. It's more of your lifestyle and your genetics. And that's the only wrinkles we really see on his face. And those of you who are arguing, oh, he's got the full gray beard. Well, full gray beard is pretty common. You start graying like mostly all the way in your 40s. Like once you get into your 40s, you'll start graying in your 40s, and then once you get like mid 40s, your beard, your facial hair will be mostly gray. And you'll also get plenty of grays mixed in with your hair, but I'm going to assume that both Bones and Drayton, they both like color their hair so that it looks less gray, because at both of their ages they wouldn't have full brown and black heads of hair. That's ridiculous. So they must use some sort of product to keep their hair looking nice and young. But I just wanted to point that out. There's no way that Bones is older than Cook. Cook, I'd say, is probably in his late 50s, pushing up to 60s, maybe early 60s. But Bones is somewhere in his 40s. So at the very most, Cook is like 10 to 15 years older than Bones. That's by my estimate. I'm no ageologist, but I think it's kind of silly to assume that, to say that Bones is older than Cook, because there's no way. And if Drayton grew out his beard, it'd probably be like mostly gray with speckles of white. So yeah. Second comparison, they don't act the same at all. You can tell by his voice lines that he is a lot more of a sadist. You'll often hear Drayton talk about how he doesn't really care for killing that much, killing and violence and causing pain, although he can't quite keep it in. He does enjoy it a little bit, but he mostly sees it as business. Whereas Bones clearly takes lots of pleasure in causing pain to others and himself. They're drastically different in their characters, the regard to their characters. But yeah, I just think it's kind of silly to compare them like that. They aren't that similar. As for gameplay-wise, I'd say he's probably gonna be like... He's probably just gonna be mainly like Hitchhiker, because he has traps, he goes through gaps, and the way I see it, you're probably not gonna be able to place his bombs on gates or doors, probably just walls, which makes his traps purely offensive rather than defensive. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there's a difference between offensive and defensive traps. Defensive traps are traps that are placed on objectives, so gates, generator, battery, fuse box, all that. They aren't really designed to catch people off guard, more rather just to delay them. But defensive traps are designed to catch people during chase or just off their guard. So Hitchhiker's traps do this. Hitchhiker's traps are unique because they're both defensive and offensive. But Nancy's traps, you can't place them on objectives. And Hans' traps are purely objective, because there's no point to putting them on toolboxes. I will say, now that I was talking about his bombs, though, I'm really, really glad that he doesn't put them on toolboxes, because that would have kind of spoiled my whole Jed idea. And I am quite attached to the character, because I spent a lot of time making him. But his bombs, though, are actually quite interesting. I'm going to talk about those a little bit here. The bombs, I watched Arctic's video that he made recently on it, and I like his idea a lot of that they're motion activated, so they function basically like a nugget, whereas if you move too fast near them, they'll blow up. I like that idea a lot. But if it is that way, I hope that you can't disarm them, because if they're that easy to avoid, it's like, I don't know, maybe that would be a little harsh, but that'd be the point of putting them in high traffic areas, right? Is that people are going to get chased into them, and so they're intentionally going to avoid those areas because they know that there's a trap there that's going to blow up if they run through it. But I don't know, everyone's just going to get rid of them immediately, so that would really suck. That's why I kind of hope they aren't disarmable. Arctic also threw out another headset thing. Arctic also pointed out another really cool idea when he noticed that the bomb blew up and exploded into blood, that the bombs were made using the blood vial, which sounds really neat. And if so, I have two questions. Is it going to be like, can you make multiple bombs from one blood vial? Or can you only make one bomb from a blood vial, and the potency and strength of the bomb depends on how much blood was in the vial? So like a full blood vial would do like more than half health, but like a Smaller one would do like normal trap damage. Who knows? But it sounds very neat. Needless to say, I'm very interested and I'm really excited to play this character. Another thing I really want to talk about is everyone's been saying that the addition of this character is the final nail in the coffin for Chop Top. And I feel like that's people just being really hopeless, big daisy downers. Because they're all saying, oh, the character's so similar to Chop Top and yada yada. No, I wouldn't say he's similar. He's played by Bill Moseley, and that's kind of the only similarity. The main differences here, first off, they act a bit different. I talked about it earlier. Bones is a little bit more old-fashioned than Chop Top is. Chop Top is a young, youthful, hippie guy who's, he's hip with the times, and he's dresses all absolutely crazy with all sorts of weird colors that don't match, and wears purple glasses and wigs. And he aspires to become a musician. That's like his dream. But what we see from Bones is that he looks like he might be the graveyard. He might be the gravekeeper. Who works at this graveyard. That might explain why the family's here in the first place. But aside from that, we don't really know what his interests are aside from murder and sadism. But we'll see when he comes out. But I'm just based off of what we've seen now, he doesn't seem that similar. Just because he's voiced by Bill Moseley doesn't mean he's going to be that. Bill Moseley's played vastly different characters. Like, try comparing Chop Top to what was the guy from House of 1,000 Corpses? I don't know. I can never remember. But try comparing those two, and they're vastly different. One of them's got no sense of humor. But yeah, don't give up on hope. The thing is that yeah, it's going to be hard for them to get it, but I don't think they're giving up completely on getting the rights to TCM2. And especially if we keep asking for it and pestering them about it, they're never going to. It's a thing like it could take 1 year from now, 2 years, 3 years from now till they can get that. But when they do, Bill Moseley's going to be eager to play the character. He's ready. And now we know that we have him on the voice cast, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does his own motion capture either. So, he's going to be dying to play the character again. We all know he loves him. He's a wonderful man. Me, a Texas Chainsaw nerd, to me, Bill Moseley is like, he's Jesus. He's Chainsaw Jesus, thou art in Chainsaw heaven. He's a legend. I'm glad we have him and Edwin Neal on the same team now. But I'm gonna finish up with all that. We're done with that. Now I don't have much to say about the new victim, aside from he looks incredible. His ability feels like it's gonna completely change the game. I don't really have anything bad to say about him. He's awesome. Skeet Ulrich. I'm not a big Scream fan, but still, it's crazy. We just recently got him in MK1, and now we have him in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Isn't that crazy? But I'd like to talk about some misconceptions with the map. I've heard a lot of people theorizing that there's going to be a boat escape, and I don't like to be a downer, and I don't like to not be hopeful, but I really don't think there's going to be a boat escape. Allow me to explain why. Well, that portion of the map that we saw, it's flooded. It's not a natural river or body of water, which means that it's not always like that. So why would they have a boat in the graveyard? Even if they know that it floods during heavy rain, it's not like it's going to rain heavy frequently enough for them to keep a boat around so that they can sail over the bodies of their past loved ones. You see how it just makes no sense? It doesn't work for me. But this is really cool though to have that though, because think about it. When they make a non-rainy version of this map, a whole new portion of the map will be opened up because it won't be flooded. And when it is rainy, hopefully you can wade through that and then you can chase a victim while you're both trying to slowly catch up to each other, wading through the water. That sounds awesome. And it'll be completely different whether or not based on whether it's a non-rainy map or a stormy map, you know? That is what I'm really excited about. Another thing I heard people talking about was the bell tower. Some people said that we could maybe get a bell escape. I know Fright Night, the podcast, was talking a lot about an escape involving the bell, which I think is dumb for quite a few reasons. First off, people, if they're expecting like the bell to attract people to come and help, why the heck would people come charging to see what's going on when the bell tower is ringing? You know, they're probably used to the sound. They're like, oh, it's ringing on the wrong time. They must have got their time mixed up, and they're gonna keep on going. No one's gonna stop because they hear the bell ringing. And second of all, gameplay-wise, 2 of the family members on the roster can't go up there. From what we saw in the trailer, there's only a ladder leading up to that bell tower. So if they put like a fuse box or something up there, any sort of escape, that's ridiculous because mainly Hands, can't get up there. So if there's a fuse box up there, they turn it on, he can't ripstall it. And Leatherface can't get up there to chase whatever victim's up there, which is really bad. And imagine a point where they add another big character, or like a character in a wheelchair. That means you have Leatherface, Hands, and that character, then all 3 of you can't go up ladders. So whatever victim's up there, they're safe up there. Forever. And that's really bad. So if there's an escape up there, that would be ridiculous. If there isn't, though, you can trap a victim up there by waiting at the bottom of the ladder. But what I definitely see the bell tower being used for is like a map-wide distraction, kind of like the toilet flush, except now it attracts family members across the entire map. So you'll get one victim up there ringing the bell to try and draw off one of the family members who's getting close to an exit that's in progress. I can see how that would work, and it sounds really neat. And also, I have a feeling... hold on, let me go back to that. I have a feeling you can probably jump off the bell tower. Like, something around here. Oh, wait a minute, never mind. I think that looks like the window's boarded up. I thought at first that was like a wooden floor, and that you could jump off, which sounds absolutely awesome, but I don't know if that's the case, because it looks like it's boarded up. That would have been a good opportunity for an environmental kill, though. Imagine throwing the victim off and they get impaled on, like, the bird feeder, the fountain down here. It would have been epic, but it's alright. The map's still cool enough. I'm not going to take it away from that, just because of that. I mean, who knows what sort of window stuff we're going to get. But I just wanted to clear that up. There's probably not going to be a bell tower escape. You could do a zipline escape from the top of the bell tower. But even then, you can only access it with a ladder, so that'd be stupid. Last thing, there's talk of like a car escape from this here truck, from Wyatt's truck, which sounds really neat, but it's totally possible, but I don't know if they're going to do something like that. I definitely don't see them doing something like that. Ooh, another thing I would like to talk about, though, is some theories I've heard, that I'm sure all of you have heard this before, but I just want to bring it up. It sounds really cool. The possibility that Wyatt spawns on the surface, untied, since he just, like, he's a bystander. He was not kidnapped by the family whatsoever. He just heard screams, heard stuff, and came to the rescue. Which means he's not yet been caught by the family. They don't even know he's here. I wish, something I've been asking for a long time is family voice lines specific to victims. And so I was always expecting Cook voice lines where he's like, I don't know what happened to your son. I'm telling you, we didn't take him, but there's no turning back now, ma'am. No turning back now, lady. You're in here for good. Or, you could also have voice lines from the family when they're asking about Wyatt, like, how the hell did you get here? Who are you? What are you doing on my property? Yeah. But I hope that he spawns on the surface, because that would really change and mix up the gameplay. But you could also make him like really, really bad at picking locks, so that basically he's not very good at rushing the objectives from the get-go because he spawns on the surface. But he can stun family members, so that sounds neat. And another possibility is that Bones can jump down the well at the start of the game. I'm totally going to test that when the game starts. I'm going to go into a private match with a friend and ask, and we're going to test these things. But, this sounds very cool, and I'm really excited. I just wanted to clear up some of that stuff that I'm hearing people say. Now, of course, maybe I'm the dumb one, and I'm the big jerk for calling like Dingus dumb for assuming that Bones is older than Cook. I mean, I'm not going to put it against him. I'm just saying it's very silly. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong about all of this, and in that case, well... whoops, I'm dumb. But, you know, I just want to get my words, my opinions out there. But, yeah. I guess that's all I have to say. Can't wait. I might be able to put out a video of like an old clip, some old clips before the update comes out, but that's a big maybe. I have school and stuff to do, so maybe not. But, you know, I'm going to put out something after the update, so stay tuned, I guess. Oh, yeah. And, sometime around Christmas, I'm going to make that, probably a new family concept video, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, I'm delaying, so I'm going to finish this up. Goodbye, see ya. Bye, ignore this, don't look at this. This isn't real. You're imagining things. Ooh.